Hello, fellow Star Wars fans, and happy Free Comic Book Day. In this special video, I'm going to be breaking down the comic from Dark Horse, the comic from Marvel that pertain obviously to Star Wars on Free Comic Book Day 2025. So I hope all of you were able to make it out to your local comic shop and had supported them, because that is lifeblood, obviously, of Star Wars comics. So we're going to get into it. So thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to join my very positive Star Wars community here and to stay up to date on the latest with Star Wars lore, canon, and more. So getting into Dark Horse, they released, just like last year, a Young Jedi Adventures, mind you, comic book story. If you have watched those episodes on Disney Plus, you're going to feel right at home, especially with the design of the characters. They look great. This one here is written by Dave Scheidt with artwork by Andy Dugan. And, you know, these kids, they are off on an adventure to basically go ahead by Yoda and find these different clues that are going to help teach them a lesson. So I really like to see all the different wacky creatures in here. I like to see, you know, representing these characters in comic book form. And these characters like Nubs thinking outside the box for how to solve the common questions of life. So very much a cool, fun story in the vein exactly like the TV series. Getting into the Free Comic Book Day edition of Star Wars from Marvel, we have 3 stories. We have one based on the upcoming run by Alex Segura. We have one on the Charles Soule's run of Legacy Vader, and of course we have one by Mark Guggenheim that falls into place of the Jedi Knights series as well. So all the ongoings get a little treatment here, which is great. And we start off with something I'm very excited for, which is our first story post the Battle of Jakku. We have not really seen Luke Skywalker at all at this point in time, so we get a nice Star Wars story with Luke Skywalker at this point. He's working with Rin, and they're trying to crack down on these pirates that are smuggling some kind of stuff that they got from New Republic forces, and Luke Skywalker is very much working for the New Republic at this time. He's not really going around solo, so he's helping out the New Republic, and there's a lot of action in here. He's cracking down on this deal that's about to happen, trying to get information, and I'm actually quite surprised how Luke is portrayed in this. He's almost appearing like a dark side character, because he's basically force holding this character over this bottomless pit, you know, threatening him for the information about these pirates. I'm like, okay, this is a Luke post Return of the Jedi. Even in Battle of Jeddah, or Battle of Jakku, sorry, we actually seen him a lot more sympathetic. So this is more like the Luke that walks into Jabba's palace and, you know, force chokes the Gamorrean guard. So I thought that was really interesting there, but this will lead into the next issue, which is we don't have to wait long for, because that's out on this Wednesday, the first issue of that new series. By the way, this one's written by Alex Segura with artwork by Phil Noto, and it is called Past is Prologue. And now we get to go to another timeline of Star Wars, back into, or forward more into the Legacy of Vader, which deals with the sequel trilogy Kylo Ren, but there's also this character named Vanee, and this story is called Legacy of Vanee, and that's written by Charles Soule with artwork by Stefano Raphael. And this one is giving us the lowdown on what exactly the deal with Vanee is, who is, you know, the guy that is the caretaker of Vader. We see him in Rogue One first, and we see him a bunch of other things, Lego specials and whatnot. And of course, we're seeing him currently in the ongoing run of Legacy Vader, that he's the one that's like shepherding Kylo around, telling him about his grandfather's history. So we get to learn a lot about Vanee's history in this one, and we get to see him really just why he's so obsessed with Vader, why he persisted, why is his body just completely separated and basically like a Bomar monk. We get to see how much of a sycophant he is for Vader, about how his whole life was revolving around Vader, how he took his body apart because he knew that's the only way to persist in case Vader was actually alive, because he was in denial that Vader died, and he's not out there somewhere. So that was a pretty good story there. And of course, we have The Moon of Death, our third story, written by Mark Guggenheim with artwork by Medabek Musabekov. And this is basically Qui-Gon and Tensu Run. I love seeing Tensu Run in this, because this is a character that is a comic book first character that appeared recently in the last year in its own Star Wars Inquisitors comics. And it's basically Qui-Gon trying to find this guy Corlys Wrath. And if you've read the last issue, issue number 2 of Star Wars Jedi Knights, you know that Obi-Wan gave Qui-Gon the information on this guy that tried to assassinate Qui-Gon in issue 1. Plus, Obi-Wan had these visions of Qui-Gon getting killed by Corlys Wrath. But the problem is, nobody knows who Corlys Wrath is. Nobody knows why he has a vendetta against Qui-Gon. So it's up to Qui-Gon to seek help from Tensu Run to really figure out more about this character. So it was great just seeing the character of Tensu Run as a Padawan at this point, before he was in that Inquisitor's storyline after the events of Revenge of the Sith. So overall, I really like these, because then even at the end, they give us like a sort of like a dossier of a lot of these characters, whether it be Corlys Wrath, whether it be Tensu Run, Vanee, or Rin. We got a nice little kind of biography on each of these characters, in case you're a new reader who's, you know, jumping into Free Comic Book Day and don't know who any of these pivotal characters are. Now we know. So I like that. I hope Star Wars actually does more of that, even in its ongoing comics. I think it's a great idea to just, you know, keep everybody up to speed with the current lore, because as we all know, there is a lot of Star Wars hitting us fast and hard in this era of Star Wars. So there you go. I was happy with these releases on Free Comic Book Day, and I hope you guys were happy too if you couldn't get to them. I think they might even be available digital at some point, so go ahead, look out for that if you don't have a comic book store, drivable distance and whatnot. But that is going to do it for my special presentation video on a Saturday, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.